very much. Thank you very much, John.
And then we thank you for honoring this invitation. We thank you for your sacrifice in promoting your culture, in promoting the Kom culture. We are here because of who we are, because of our history, because of our culture. So I wish to take this opportunity given me to introduce the people who pilot the occasion. We know that this occasion is twofold: an academic exercise, a book launch, a cultural jamboree, and in fact everything. We are going to have everything here. And then the most qualified person who could do that, we have Dr. B. Jerome, PhD in philosophy, University of Bamenda. Can we cheer up for him? Can we cheer him up? He's going to be accompanied by another teacher. Mr. Bong Anthony. Can we cheer up? You see, there is everything here. You see a very tall man and an average height person. You know that the blend will be so good. Enjoy the evening. Doctor.
Thank you so much. We want to thank everybody for coming, for honoring this invitation. We want to sincerely apologize for the late start. Today, the 1st of July, we have a program here, which is a book launch. It's a book launch of two very important books on Kom culture and Kom history. The first is a comprehensive history of the Kom Society. The second is the Modern Kom Society, culture, customs, and traditions. May I just, before we introduce the panelists and the guests of honor, may I just say that one of the problems that Africa is facing today is largely, to my understanding, because of a complete disconnection from its culture, the disconnection of the people from their culture, and we live in a world where the Westerners came and told us that we did not even have a culture, we were nothing, we did not have a history. In fact, as far as history is concerned, Africa was just a big chasm, a vacuum. And if we have not been able to liberate ourselves up to today, more than 50 years after independence, it is largely, I think, because we have not been able to decolonize ourselves mentally. And part of that decolonization has to do with getting back to our roots. And I think it is our place, Kom intelligentsia, the African intelligentsia, to get back to our culture, rewrite, criticize, and subject what the Westerners said about us, because it was a period of silence. We didn't say anything, they said everything about us, defined us according to their own categories of thought, and we just gullibly accepted. So it is time, if we want to attain complete independence, we must get back to our roots. There are lots and lots of things in our culture that can help us to emerge, that emergence that we need. I would not like to get into a very long lecture here. We just want to introduce, my colleague is going to do a rundown of the program once more, and then we'll move straight away into...
Before we continue, we have to commit the deed to God, because in Genesis 1:26, God said, let's make man in our own image and likeness. So we all reflect God in our uniqueness, in our personalities, and in all aspects of our life. And to commit this great work, to commit our presence, we have to call upon Dr. Peter Yu to pray for us.
Shall we rise for prayers? God our Father, we praise your name for bringing all of us to this place and into this hall today. We want to begin, Father, by thanking you even for the rain, which we believe is a blessing from you. Your word says you do not send rain so that it will return to you without accomplishing what you sent it for. Crops have been watered, and Lord, that we expect to be less ill even because rain has fallen today. We worship you because we believe that cultures are made by you. The distinctions in our ethnicities, Lord, are God ordained. You did them, you made them, and you did this for a reason. There is a reason for why we are Kom and we are ethnically distinctive from any other tribe. So Lord, we want to thank you for these people, and we thank you for the institutions, for the cultures, for the politics of that kingdom which you made by yourself. We want to pray, Lord, that as we go into looking at the history of these people, looking at the history of the institutions and the political institutions and culture of the Kom people, Lord, you will teach us. Because once again, our wisdom, which is from you, says, if we do not know where the rain started beating us, Lord, we will not know where we are going, and we will not know where we got dry. Again, Father, we want to subject everything today here to your will and to your power. We pray that your hand will be upon all of us as we do this exercise. And we pray that our institutions will be strengthened by looking back, by helping us to look back at what was there before. We pray, Lord, that although history is a problem of perspective, even as we look at the history of our country today, and we know that the crises have been brought because of a way of looking at the history, we pray, Father, that the history of the Kom people as recorded by Mr. Joseph NSOM will help us to gain wisdom, so that as we move into the future, Father, we will know how to hold ourselves and how to act so that we will bring progress to our people. Help us, Heavenly Father, to know that you are the one in control, and even though there is sin in every culture, you've subjected everything under your will, and you are going to take control even of the Kom culture as we move ahead into the future. Thank you again, Father, for bringing each person to us today. Help those who are on the way to come and to join us in this wonderful exercise. We pray this with thanksgiving in the name of Jesus. Amen.
The rundown of just part of the program. It is said that adjustment is not bad planning. So, to accommodate certain things which were unforeseen, we've adjusted the program a little. So, we've adjusted the program a little. So, after prayers, since we are here celebrating a people, celebrating a culture, celebrating history, this is a place where people from various backgrounds and homes have come. So we would like to call on Baya to come in and animate for us. After that, we'll have a brief presentation of the author, after which we'll have the book review with Bobby Duke. And immediately after that, then we introduce the panel, the team that is going to run this meeting. Thank you so much.
I will make you a guy and you will put out what you do over. Whoa! Intababane mwajima bonga asamala ne bodo maduke. Biyo bigor konjo ma o. Taramna ne menema. Ya tamna ne menema o. Muwa meturi ucha dim fa we chibi cha o ka ucha dim gizi cha we yunema. We do mwa ga mwa teji ba yeni. Tula fiya bori mwa o. Njo meka fa mba tule yansi mbikomba isiwe. Mi komba si we me ka ko mwa adim kir ko yansi ka mi fi fo ko me mi komba si we. Bana le tuni mwa o. Hambo ya tamna ne me we si what post ni ne boji do mwa kamba ulo tuti kura tona. Oh ya bi o. Prisama. Ni mo je wan bi o.
You can appreciate. So we're really enjoying the video. Wow. So, we're coming out appreciating in one way or another. Yes, we are still waiting for them to play one style, this play, and then in 1 or 2 minutes, we can continue with the program. Thank you so much. We're moving on to something else. Since we love you so much, and then you come back in a while. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. From the animation, we see that of the mind. Please, let's give them a hand of applause.
All right, thank you very much. We will just go straight away to the presentation of the panelists this afternoon. We'll begin with the moderator of the book review, Dr. Jig Carr Henry. Dr. Jig is a lecturer, a university professor, and I would say that most of us here were students. And Dr. Jig, currently lecturing at the University of Bamenda, the Department of English Modern Letters. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
The next person will be Dr. Nick Guanyam. I would say that it's very difficult to present this person because of the very, very wide tentacles that he has. But I'll just go to the area that we commonly know him for. He is a physician and the proprietor of St. Louis University Institute, Bamenda, which is just a few distance from this place. Dr. Nick is going to do the book review. He's going to handle the cultural part of the review. Thank you very much, sir. The next person we have on the panel is Dr. Confidence Ngam. Dr. Confidence Ngam is a historian. He is a university don. He lectures at the Department of History in the Faculty of Arts of the University of Bamenda. You're welcome, Doctor. The next person on that panel will be Dr. Peter Ndomi. Dr. Ndomi has a PhD in business management and project management. Is founder of African Organization for Research on Women and Child Protection. He has centers in Ghana and in Cameroon. He's the promoter of the Tuba Community Radio. Dr. Ndomi. On that panel, there is also another very important personality. Before I introduce him, I'll go straight away to the person who has actually made us come here today. I'll be introducing the author. I won't say much about him because there's somebody who's going to tell us something about him. And that is Bobé Joseph. The next person is still on his way, he's coming. That's the chairperson. And that will be Informi Nico Mpum. He's on his way. I don't know whether he's already in the hall. Okay. When you come, he's going to occupy his seat. So, without much ado, we are going to get into real business here, the academic part of the book launch. So, we will hand over the microphone to Dr. Henry J.
To be here this evening. Someone is conventionally, we should always begin by apologizing for the late start. So we are sorry for that. How much minutes do we have for the review? I see 15 minutes each per reviewer.
His representative is here in the name of...
My name is Mo Christophe.
Please.
Please, just a little correction here. We will, before we get into the book review proper. And that's going to be done by Mr. Peter Awo. Mr. Peter Awo is a lecturer of English literature at the Department of English Modern Letters of the Higher Teacher Training College of the University of Amenda. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. MC. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I have only a brief, very brief presentation of the... Before I do that, I would like to say it is, of course, a bit difficult to present an elder in Kom culture. The reverse is often true, but I will do what I can do. The person who brought us here today as the author hails from Sho village in Kom Bello subdivision. I would like to remind you that Sho is the village that hosts the queen of the Kom founder, the Nafon Kom. Bobé son Joseph, the person, was born in Sho, and he started primary school in RCM Sho and completed in a government primary school, which I guess he was one of the very early peoples in government secondary schools when government took over native authority schools in Cameroon, especially in the Anglophone part of Cameroon. In his secondary school life, it will be interesting to note that the author here today started as a technician. He went to school at GTC Ambe, from where he proceeded to cast Bambili. I would like to stress the element of the technical element of his training. After that, he attended the University of Yaoundé, where he got a first degree in economics, and proceeded to the University of Yaoundé too, where he got a maîtrise, the French appellation of maybe a master's. And then His Excellence brought him into the good books of the UN that granted him a scholarship, a fellowship, to study in the University of Botswana. And there, he graduated with a master's in sustainable development. I think from his scholarship, we see some knowledge that is broadening, and it keeps broadening into his professional life. As far as his profession is concerned, he was trained as a statistician, and he studied in the Regional School of Statistics in Yaoundé. And as far as his work is concerned, he is working at the Central Bureau of Census and Population Studies, called by the French acronym, BUCLE. He is a freelance teacher of economics. He has taught economics for a very long time. And he has published books, textbooks, for the GCE and A-level studies. And now, let's come to talk about his productions. How comes a technician, an economist, a sustainable developer, writes books on culture and history? That is the other part of the author that we would like to stress. And I would like to say here that, apart from this, he is a sound researcher in Kom culture, Kom history, and these are the efforts that we are celebrating today. As far as outreach is concerned, he is a kingpin of Kom development, generally, and in his village show in particular. And proof of his leaning towards culture was the fact that these books have already been presented in the Kom Palace, and the Queen Mother was supposed to be here. But the absence does not speak less of the success of his cultural background, because even here we have the Queen Kom, that is the kingmaker of Kom, here seated. That is proof that the author we are celebrating is profound. He is all round. And the books that we are going to have today are just a product of his professional and academic intercourse. Thanks very much. I think the rest of the presenters will do the rest.
Thank you very much. Yes, that presentation is quite more about the author from that presentation. Thank you very much. We will now hand over the microphone to the panel for the review.
Again, wonderful presenter of the author. The author, luckily to me, is my contemporary. We graduated from the University of Yaoundé 31 years ago at the same year. I'm meeting him here 31 years after. So I want to begin by thanking him for bringing me here to see him again. He is a man of many cultures. I am going to talk very little about him, but I want to talk about culture very briefly. Three major characteristics of culture. One, culture is universal and specific. It is conservative and dynamic at the same time. It is something acquired unconsciously. From the beginning of this presentation, we have Mbaya. Mbaya is from Nogamantu. They were presenting the culture of Nogamantu in Mbaya, bringing out the universality of culture. We are here bringing out the specificity of Kom culture, the universality of culture, the specificity of culture at the same time. I'm a teacher and I teach in halls larger than this. I can talk without a microphone. The first presenter is going to present on culture. And that presenter is a physician. is a medical doctor. And the book that has been presented to us on culture is titled The Modern Kom Society, Culture, Custom, and Tradition. This is a physician. He wants to demonstrate the universality of culture, the specificity of culture, just like, and he is not from the Kom fandom, he is from Donga Manto. Mr. Doctor, sir, present your paper. Thank you.
I have only 15 minutes to speak. Now, I have a problem. I had many problems anyway when I was asked to present this book, and you get to know about the problems. And when I came in here, I had another problem. Because when I was writing my paper, you know, you deliver to an audience. So you write a paper with the audience in mind. And when the audience shifts, you wonder whether you present it the way you wrote it or if you modify. And now, whatever, I have 200 copies, photocopies of what I wrote, so just relax, okay? And the whole idea was, we are not coming here to waste time. You need to go back with some information and then read and digest and make use of it. Above all, I would encourage you to buy the book and read it. Support the work, buy the book and read it. We come to launch the book because we have some objectives that we want to attain. And so when I was writing this, I was writing my paper with the objective of helping us to attain those other objectives. Are you with me?
Yes.
That's right. And so, what I wrote here, I could as well just paraphrase and just talk about it for 15 minutes. Or you want, I do the standard thing of reading through. Which method would you want?
Paraphrase.
Paraphrase. Thank you very much. Because when I paraphrase, I can explain. Then when you go, since you have the material, when you read it, you'll get it. Okay?
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much. So for starters, I want to thank Bobby for writing the book, and to say that writing a book is not an easy thing. I have been asked several times to write a book, and I think I can write a book. But each time, I don't know why I don't get to writing a book, so you need some discipline to write a book. That's right. And so, I have been to a couple of book launches, I've been to many book launches, and then when one is asked to review a book, what usually happens is that there's a style, there's a technique for presenting a book, you know, and I'm not familiar with it. And you will see the difference when Dr. Ngam will be presenting, you will get it, okay? But I'm different, I'm more pragmatic, I'm a practical guy, so I look at it differently. So, but like I was telling them in the office, I had comfort in the fact that when they invited me to present the book, they gave me a specific task. And as far as that specific task is concerned, I'm very comfortable, I'm very happy. Because they didn't just want me to review the book the way books are reviewed in a standard manner. They gave me, they said, this will permit you to explore the book thoroughly before the launch and maybe come out, this is my objective, maybe come out with an idea or project that can promote the Kom Society in one way or the other, be it research, common language, literature, religion, arts, design, medicine, etc. Did you get? Are you seeing the perspective from which I'm coming? Yes. Yeah, it's completely different. Now, I had to think about what I had to do. And I had a couple of problems. The first thing I asked myself, why, I'm not a Kom person, why are they asking me? And then when I looked at the list of people, did you see the list of professors who are in Kom?
Yeah.
And do you know the doctor, this doctor, that? So I was a little bit frightened, you know? But this is it. I'm here to help the Kom people see themselves. Because you cannot see yourself, can you? You cannot, I mean, you can see yourself, but you cannot see your back, as they say. You can't see your back. So, being an outsider, I can read the book and look at it from a different angle and tell you what I think. Are we together? Because I have one little book, I wrote something in 2006 in my book. If you want to get something that you have never had, do something that you have never done. Do you buy that? If you want to get something if you want to have something that you've never had, then you must do something that you have never done. It's a principle. And then, there's going to be a couple of facts here. Because when I listen to our MC introducing the whole thing, this is something that he said. We must go back to our word, to our culture, to our roots. That's very tricky. That's very tricky. Because if we want to go back, we'll end up not having quotes and so on, we'll have them washi. Are you getting what I'm saying? So it's very tricky. And now, look at the title of the book again. It says, the modern Kom culture. Did you say society? Sorry, did you say modern? The word modern, I mean, if he didn't mean it, he would not put it there. So, modern means, presupposes that there was an ancient culture, right? And then now we are in this modern culture right now. Are you with me? Or you're distracted? Mr. Chairman, you are late. Sit down. That's the culture of lateness in Cameroonians. Welcome. Yeah, you give us a lot of money. Sit down. We'll hold him to pay. Now listen. So there was an ancient culture. We are in the modern culture, and we presuppose that there will be a future culture. Am I correct? Yes. Because culture is what? Dynamic. It's not static. If it's static, you won't grow. And therefore, when you give me the topic development means growth, change, positively. Am I correct on that? And you cannot grow if you don't change. And therefore, I frame the question, what is in the culture now that we can change so that it can allow you to grow? Are you seeing the point? That's where I'm coming from. So we must look at it, what is it that we are doing or not doing that we ought to do so that we can change and grow? Are you seeing that's my approach? Now, if I take that as an assignment, I still have another problem. We are talking about the Kom culture, aren't we? And we are talking about development among the Kom people. But at the beginning, the Kom people were a small entity, a kingdom of their own, a nation, in quotes. Am I correct? But now you became part of something bigger. You didn't even know you were part of something bigger. Then somebody told you are part of this division, the Northwest, Cameroon. So it became much bigger than the people who went and settled there. Are we together? So you have, even though you are a people set apart, you are part of a bigger society and community, and that creates a problem. Therefore, you cannot just be with the mindset that you had. Now you are part of something else. And then when you're looking at Cameroon, Cameroon is not independent. Cameroon is part of Africa, of the world. So there are other principles and things that govern all these. And if you're not part of it, you run into a problem. Are we together so far? Yes, that is the problem. Now, we have a problem, a current problem now in the country. Where is the problem coming from? It's coming from a clash of cultures. Those things are arising because everything is dynamic and you must know how things function. And then when you look at other nations, let's leave Cameroon and look at other nations like America. We think America is the best. America has problems. America has problems. And when we are talking development is measured. There's something that we use to measure development. It doesn't matter in what shape or color in which it comes. It's money. Or say affaire cap. Affaire cap. Affaire cap. Affaire très sérieuse. So another way to say how do we develop? We can also rephrase and say how do we earn money? Because money is the medium of exchange, and when you have it, you can make things and grow. Are you getting what I'm saying? So the next question is, does the Kom man know how to make money? This guy knows how to make money. But does the Kom man know how to make money? Does the Anglophone know how to make money? Does the Cameroonian know how to make money? What does it take to make money? Are you seeing that? Are there things in our culture that are stopping us from having money? Because even if you had the greatest dream to do this, if you don't have money, you cannot do those things. Is it making sense so far? That is where the problem is. So, what do we think of education? What are some of those things that are affecting us and so on? That is where the problem is. And you know, many years ago, there was a statement like the IMF had asked us many years ago to do a structural adjustment. Structural adjustment. And I was talking with my wife, and my wife said, what do you mean by structural adjustment? To adjust, there must be structures to adjust. Are you getting me? How can you adjust something that does not exist? For you to adjust the structure must first exist, then you can adjust it. Are you getting the point? So we as a people, and what I'm telling the Kom people today, I'm telling the Nkambe people, I'm telling the Bansal people, I'm telling Northwesterners and so on, it's the message that's coming from the Kom group and it's going to spread out. That's why I made so many copies so I should not die, and the information is in soft copy. I think I will send to your email so that you can have it and digest it and look at it very critically. So, even in America, listen to me, there's one book that I read that changed my mind. Why A students work for C students and B students work for the government? Alright? That book, even is written by Robert Kiyosaki. Even Americans don't understand what he is talking about, which means I try to compare it to a story building, and as I was talking to my friends in the office, let's say we have the ground floor, which is the Cameroonians, we are Ususol. Do you understand what I mean? We are underground Ususol. Because the man, Robert Kiyosaki, who's putting the principles in this book, if Americans were to follow what he is saying, they will go to floor 199. Are you getting me? Which means that even Americans are making mistakes. Does it make sense? That is the problem. So, if we as a people are in floor, Ususol, you see how difficult it is for me to really help you to understand. Because there are a lot of things that we are doing personally and a people that are not correct. And until we correct those things, we'll not get it. So the question is like, okay, Nwanyam, what is the way to Yaoundé? You want me to show you the way to Yaoundé? And say, help us to correct the steering of the car so that we head on to Yaoundé. But you put your car facing Bamboo, that's the problem. Are you getting what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to share with you is so big. I'm just trying to give you the principles to say, I have written things down here. There are books that I've recommended for you to read. As a Kom people, just follow the instructions. Go there, get the books, read them, and see how you can help yourselves to grow out of your current situation and change and do it the way Robert Kiyosaki says it. Now, in summary, I think I've exhausted the 15 minutes. What are the 3 problems that I found with the Kom people when I read the book? Oh, let me go through it. You share with us our principles. I didn't make them. Are you getting me? They are principles, and when we don't know the principles, we make mistakes. The question that we must ask is, what is it that motivates a person? Or say motivate. What is it that motivates a person to do something or not to do it? If you can understand it, a lot will change in your life. The question again is this: what pushes you to get out of your bed at 6 a.m. and not 7 a.m.? Why don't you just lie there and get up at 7 a.m.? There's something that motivates you. What is it that motivates you? Now, there's a psychologist called Maslow. He studied what motivates human beings. And for those of you who are teachers, I'm sure you know, he talked about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Are we aware of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs? That thing was true yesterday, is true today, and will be true when? Tomorrow. So if you don't understand, go read the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It begins there. And in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he says that there are 5 basic levels of stimulation. And what stimulates you and pushes you is the need. Necessity is the mother of invention. Yes, that statement is true. So when you don't see the need, you don't do anything. When you have the need, it pushes you to wake up. That is how it works. And in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you have 5 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a 6th level which is not part of it, it's out of it. And the transition between the 5th and the 6th level is very important. And that's what I want to share with the Com people, because if you don't understand that transition from the 5th to the 6th level, you will be held down there. Are you with me so far? Yes, that's right. Now, just to make you understand it very well, if you catch moonbeam and put moonbeam in a bucket that has a transparent lid, most of the moonbeam will be seeing the light and trying to jump out, right? But they'll be hitting the lid and coming back. You're not different from that moonbeam. There's something that is holding you back but you cannot see. There's something that is holding Cameroonians back but they cannot see. Until you can see it. Now you see when Hillary Clinton was going for the presidency, she said women must break the glass ceiling, right? Yes, because there's some aura, some glass ceiling in America that is holding the women back. True or false? So she said we will break it today. So there is that glass ceiling. If you are not aware of that glass ceiling, you can never break it and it will hold you down. And that's what I'm trying to share with you. Now, in the first level of need, there are about 4, 5, or 6, I don't know. But there's need for what? Food, water, air, excretion, sex. Are you seeing those things? If there's no water in Bamenda, we'll all abandon Bamenda and go and look for water. True or false? Good. There are physiological needs. Second level is safety, security, job security, all of that. Okay? Third level is love, association, being together. Are you with me so far? Fourth level is ego. Ego. I am. And that's where when I read this book, I realized that the command is stuck in the fourth level. Ego. Are you getting me? What is it that motivates the calm person? What are you looking for? Because this motivation, to put it another way, you remember the 3 wise men from the east? They saw a star and they were following it, right? They were following a star. So when the calm man is sitting there, what is the star that attracts the calm man to work and to get up from sleep and so on? He is looking at something. It's the position in society, to be Bobe, to be this, to be in this society. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes, that is what is, at that level of the Com Society, that is what you guys hold in as being important. And therefore you all gear your energies towards becoming a Bobe, so that you can also eat in that house, that good and so on. And I realized that it was very strong in the book. Are you with me? You've got to break it. And when you're in that ego thing and you push it too much, these are the 2 extremes. Either you suffer from inferiority complex, or you suffer from superiority complex, and 2 of them are deadly diseases. The best position is be yourself. Okay? So I say to you today is that one of the things that's holding you back is the quest for titles. But you must, I'm not saying the titles are bad, but let the title stay in its place and you rise above the title. And you cannot rise above the title if you don't go to the 6th level. What is the 5th level? The 5th level is self-actualization. Now, self-actualization, I gave some examples here. I used Professor Kui and the Vice Chancellor. Akenji. Listen, this is how it works. Professor Kui wanted to be a professor, right? Now he's a professor, right? So he has attained his maximum goal. True or false? Good. Professor Akenji wanted to be Vice Chancellor, and now she is Vice Chancellor. That is very important. To go from that 5th level to the 6th level, you must, all of you must ask yourself a question. Repeat after me. And so what? Say it. And so what? Say it to yourself. And so what? Okay, you are a doctor, you are a professor. Say it. I'm Dr. Mwanyam. And so what? And so what? Yes. So, if there's anything I want to teach any company today, and every Cameroonian, and so what? Et alors quoi? Et puis quoi? Voilà. Because we become stuck. Are you getting me? When you get to that self-actualization, you think you're finished. You have not. What we define as success, we need to define success. What is success? You know, when you are still young, growing up to about 25 years, you are getting from nature. Are you seeing what I'm saying? After 25 years going on, you have to do what? Give back to nature. That's a principle. And now, that and so what allows you to go past yourself, the receiving end, then you change platforms and you start doing what? Giving. And so what? I must give. And if you're not giving, you mean nothing. Did you hear me well? So that is what the calm person has to do. To start doing what? Giving. And giving. And giving. Yeah, we give, but to whom do we give? We give to our children, our wives, our in-laws. That is not giving. That's obligation. Are you getting me? You give to someone who cannot give back to you. You don't give because you have. Are you getting me? You give to common good. You give to somebody who is faceless. That's how it works. At that time, we call that face the transcendental face. You transcend means you leave yourself. Who has dreamed that he has died and his spirit left him? I did. Who has ever dreamed like that? When you drink, your spirit leaves you absent. Your spirit leaves you, right? That means you need to come out of that your human cocoon and come to this spiritual point where you are looking at every people and looking at life from above. Does it make sense so far? That's the transcendental phase where you are controlled by the spirit. And that spirit is the spirit of love, giving, and sharing with others. Are you getting me? So much so that when you are a professor, you have cars, you have money, you have, all of those mean nothing. You use those things now to help those who don't have, so that they become greater than you. Are you with me? That is what I want the people to do. Thank you very much.
I don't know whether we can be able to thank you enough, but most is your philosophical review. Once more, let us give him a hand again. And so what he was saying and asking us to repeat is typical of common language. If there is a common man here who has never said, and so what, indicate by show of hands. Every common man said, I said that there are three major characteristic traits of culture. One, universality and specificity, dynamism and conservative nature of it. And then the unconscious what? The unconscious nature of culture, where you acquire it unconsciously. That is the problem. You have summarized in your philosophical way, but the paper will help us. Once more, thank you very much, sir. We will listen to the academic review of Dr. Confidence Gam, and I can assure you the physician was very right to say his review will be different. You will be my witness at the end of Ngam's review whether it was indeed different or not. Dr. Confidence Gam, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening to everybody. I'm honored to do something which is midway between a book review, a book presentation. I'm sorry that I will not feel you. The important thing this evening is to know what is in the book and to know how we can get the book and all its relevance in place and time. Mr. Chairman, I don't have the culture of talking with people behind me. I'm coming from Marwa. You are welcome. The author of the book that I'm going to present, you are welcome. I want to say that I will not be doing an academic review. I'll be following the logic of the invitation which says I am a guest speaker. So, midway between dotting the lines and cutting the T's and talking about the sentences, we're giving just something that gives us a reason to get this started. I was so excited in 2009 when I met Bobe Joseph's son when I started my PhD. He was such a moving archive and a dictionary. It directed me because I had to make research on com diplomacy, power topography, and leadership. I got to understand in 2016 that he has published, and I am both honored and overwhelmed to be a presenter of his document today. Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity. What I will be doing is to ask a question. Why a comprehensive history of the Kom Society now? Why should history be important? Is history studied such that we can have the facts and correct them? History plays a role which is different in its purpose in time and place. History is to inform us of where we came from. It is to give us an idea of where we are. It is to give us a compass position of our own self with the failures and the triumphs we've had in the past, whether recent, not more distant, so that we can correct the past. We might not go back to the 14th century to punish those who committed the crimes, but we can be aware through history of the crimes that were committed so that we can correct the present, and in a way be sure of the future through our own actions. That is the nation of history. After having implanted that, the next question we ask is, how then has this master speak piece titled A Comprehensive History of the Kom Society played that role? Another question we may ask is, what is then the purpose of history? History first is a pedagogic tool because it gives us information in our people, in our events, in our environment, in the near or distant past. History is a social element because it gives us a reason to be able to relate with each other and to understand where our ancestors or those who live behind us failed to succeed. It plays a nutritive part too, that it gives us a food for thought in the moment. I must confess that Bobe Johnson, though not being a historian of a training and a view, has done something out of the ordinary. He has crossed the Rubicon to implant himself in the annals of history. You know, the job of history is much more like that of an investigator. A historian gets to awaken all outmoded and old-fashioned facts and to speak knowledge into them. A historian has to question people, good grade. It has to go to the tombs. It has to go to pebbles. It has to go to structures to be able to do this. The document you'll be having will situate you in place and time, not only about the Kom culture or the Kom history, but equally about the people that live therein. Understanding that the Grassfield history is not an isolated part of history, we understand that this is not just about Kom history. It's a document that situates the Kom history within the general context of the Grassfield history, and even now the Cameroon history as well. And Bobe Johnson has done this in 250 pages, not counting the front material. I'm talking about the preface and other areas. He has been able to put this together in 14 straight chapters. And these chapters carefully synthesizes the people, the events, the funds, the leadership, the power topography, the gender topography, the emancipation effort, the denominations, the political parties, and the people that may come either in the past or in the distant or the recent past. The great job to title this book A Comprehensive History. Because this book is a combination of making many documents, the voices of many people, the errors of many people, the successes of many people as well, all of them about the Kom people. And since the Kom people did not grow from space, they migrated from other areas, it is equally a history about the Bembe, a history about the Tikas, a history of those centralized structures, either in the grass field or within the African continent. And therefore, is the title, A Comprehensive History of the Kom Society, is just a mirror for any other individual to be able to see history. The question we may ask is, why are we here? And why should we get this document? The good book says that from the good book, I'm talking about the Bible, from which all knowledge comes, that thou shalt know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. I feel that the knowledge in this document gives you the truth about the past of the Kom people. It gives you vivid and graphic images of how they struggled and fell to make their society. It gives you an image of the women and of the politicians that rose and fell in the struggle to make history worthwhile. And it says, and I should also say that the very good book which I quoted, I'm talking about the Bible, it says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. And since there is knowledge in this document, I feel that Bobe Johnson might not have as much money as he used to produce this document. But I'm too sure that he must have fulfilled his mission of this pilgrim tour by giving knowledge to people and setting them free. I feel proud, ladies and gentlemen. I feel honored to say Bobe Johnson in his time will be remembered to have documented history, to have set himself apart from drinking and hallowing and spending his time to learn from the presenter that he is a guru in the art professional field. It sounds interesting to say here that this book is a must read to everybody. It is a good companion to all Kom people, to all friends of the Kom people, to all those interested in ethnography and anthropology, and to all civil administrators, NGOs, and policy makers. And if you find the facts you see, the traps and the bridges created and destroyed, in order to build the Kom society and to transform it from the abyss of ignorance. If you don't understand the names, if you don't understand the people, if you don't understand the sentences or the words in it, you will enjoy his diction and style. If anything doesn't interest you in this book, it is worth getting because you will keep it and you use it to write your own document. You know, it is easier to criticize than to write. I want to say, like any other human interface, it is not void of its own pitfalls. The interest here is not to point at the pitfall, but I feel that the image that this book has given is that it has provided a companion that you should read it without slipping from the beginning to the end. I commend this document that you should read it. I'm sorry, Mr. Moderator. I'm sorry, Dr. Nick. I might not have done the job you expected, but this is how I find the document. May God bless you all.
Thank you very much. You give him a hand again for an academic review. This is the standardized method of reviewing academically. I will not waste or take any of the time again because we have been opened. We have done our part. Our part is to tell you the worth of the book. Our part is to say, like the Maya singer, that the Father said, when he gives you education, he has given you all he has. The last reviewer has reminded us that my people perish for lack of knowledge. Nobody can know where you are going to if you don't know where you are coming from. The dynamic nature of culture is calling on us now to say that this book is not for any particular group of people, but I think for all humanity, for people who love man as a human being, because man is the center of culture. Without culture, there is no man and there is no society. So all of us must make an effort to go home with 1 or 2 copies of this book. Thank you, Mr. MC. The review exercise is over.
Thank you very much. That was a very, very insightful review from both presenters, Dr. Nick Ngwanyam and Dr. Confidence Ngam. I'll just summarize all of that in these words, the words of the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates, who says, man, know thyself. If you want to, like the moderator just said, if you cannot move a step, you cannot move, you cannot develop if you don't know where you're coming from. You must know who you are, where you're coming from, what are the obstacles that may stand on your way to progress. So I think this is a very interesting contribution that all Kom children, or all people from Kom and even out of the village of Kom should get a copy. It's something that I think the author actually needs to launch the book even beyond Yaoundé and Bamenda, and even beyond Cameroon. It's very, very important. There are lots and lots of Kom children that are born out of this country who need to know about their culture, and this will be a very, very important document. Before we get to the launching phase of this, before we get to the launching phase, we will be listening to the president of Kom Kuda after some bars of music.
The chairperson of this occasion, the moderators, and I would want to say the representative of His Royal Highness, the King of Kom, because he's the kingmaker, the queen. I want to recognize him in a very special manner. Ladies and gentlemen, as the president of Kom Cultural Association here in Bamenda, Cultural Development Association, I occupy a lighter area in the program. All academic work has been done, and I'm just up to say that Joseph Som's decision to launch his very important historical document, Bamenda here, means a lot to us, the Kom community, Bamenda. It gives us not just an honor, but it situates the place which the Kom people in Bamenda has in the history of the development of Kom as a people. I would just want to make a little reference, some reference to the recent revivals of the Jongse Kom, which was initiated here in Bamenda. And I'm sure this launch is an illustrious recognition of the effort which we in Bamenda are making that the history of Kom should get richer and more meaningful to the entire world. It is also, in fact, a bigger honor to the author himself, Joseph Song, because it shows his ability to sacrifice time and money, to exploit his talent to document the history of the Kom people. One speaker said that he's not going to make any money from this endeavor, but that he would go home satisfied that he has done a great job, which is to write down the history of his people. And that is our gratitude. That is the Bamenda people from this Kom stock. We want to recognize, we want to appreciate. I may just want to end by adding that the history of Kom, the culture of Kom, is so rich and inspiring that very many people want to write about it. That many of us who have not yet done anything, have not yet written, I would like to say that we should get some inspiration from what Bobe Joseph Song has done. An important event, an important milestone in the history of the Kom people, all of us remember, if I say it's a very rich history, is the return of Afro-Kom. This is a historical episode that inspired a great American anthropologist, Ferrati. And in that document, Ferrati has documented in greater detail the history of the origin and the migration of the Kom people and its cultural richness. And when Afro-Kom returned in 1974, some people already here, the then Minister of the then Minister of Territorial Administration, Andre Chungi, was greatly inspired, and he produced a poem that is yet to be rivaled as a cultural piece of poetry. Then I'm just saying, like I said, that the history of Kom, the culture of Kom, can inspire great writing. I'm happy that this evening we have come to listen to see one of our songs document that history. Like one presenter said, this document is a must buy, is a must read. And I hope that all of us here are going to go home with a copy. Thank you very much. I wish you a great, pleasant stay and a safe return to your various homes.
Without any other intervention, we are just going to go straight away to the book launch. And we had introduced the chairperson of this occasion there. He came when we were at the review level, and that's no other than Mr. Mfomi Nico Mtum. I was made to understand that the title Mfomi is Army Chief of Staff. And I imagine that he is actually going to unveil the books here in a very, very military way, as my senior is saying over there, and that when I came here earlier this afternoon, I looked at the number of people here. It was quite a very small number, and I told myself, well, is that how it's going to be? But I think the issue is not the question of numbers, but the quality. And you are actually going to dip your hands right deep into your pockets and promote this artistic work. So, we'll call on Mr. Nico Mpu to come up and begin the job which we have given him this afternoon. Thank you very much, sir. Maybe he will want to say,
Mr. Moderator, all of us present here, good evening. Good evening. I did not intend to come late. Parameters of the time was that. The important thing is that I'm there. And I'm there before the lunch.
You are on time.
Not before the start talking. Mr. Moderator, thank you for all the points you noted, you observed. Before I will unveil whatever is here, because we don't yet know whether it is the books. The points you touched, very pertinent. Typical Kom Society, as well as other societies, the good, the bad, the ugly, we all find them in us. The important thing is that if we find a good one, let's go ahead with it. If we find a bad one, let's try to eradicate it. The ugly we can amend. We try to amend it. Don't say if you quoi. If you quoi, and so what? What enough? It retards the community's development. Development is not just structural. If people are developed upstairs, the rest will just flow. You also said America 155, we are below the floor. Yes, we are below the floor so that others should be up. We have 3 levels of people in the world, no other level. Your level, below and above you. There's no other level again. So, for you to know the level of somebody, you need to interact with him or her. If I interact with them, automatically I know his level. When you interact, those you have seen there below, you need something from them below, go down. Get it? Those who are above, strive to go up. And they will hold your hand. If you say, and so what, and you stay at your level, you never get what is down there. Neither will you get what is up. So, when I say man, I'm very place. Do you do that?
Just open them.
I felt very serious.
Ah.
Yes. Open them with door.
It is so that they give money.
Deep inside the pocket.
Okay. The author of the book, thank you Congratulations. Keep on. Do not think you have already done something. You are still at the genesis. And let me tell you, you did not meet all the people. You met some. You did not meet all the people. Maybe because, and so what? Or somewhere along the line. So for sure, many of these books will follow. Many will follow from different angles, from the author and from other authors. It is quite big. The Kom Society is a whole world. They believe in their world. So, Africa. Anyway. The issue here about Africa doesn't go with figures. It goes with the spirit. With the spirit. Amen. Clap for him now. You cannot make money when you are asking people. As I'm making money, I have difficulties because I'm making the money almost alone. Almost alone. If people should join me to make the money, the work become lighter, to make more money. I'm moving only 1 kilometer. If we were 10 of us, we will move 10 kilometers. It will be quite fast. So the spirit here is the issue. If you come here and dump some money here and say, and so what? In actual fact, you have closed that fire, which we don't want. The spirit should be the one that we will achieve here, now, and tomorrow. It will be challenging if somebody should feel that that person has given this. Why am I giving this? If you have 5 francs and you want to support, put it here. It is the spirit, as I said. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Bobe informing Nico Tum has
Tum, please.
Tum, sorry with the pronunciation. All right. He has unveiled. I think he was supposed to unveil. He was supposed to unveil and get his copy, please. We call on the representative of the Vice Chancellor of the University of Bamenda. So sitting somewhere there.
He's just going to take your copy. Facing. We call this facing. Take your copy. Where's confidence?
The next person, and that is Dr. Peter Ndomi.
Good evening. I am actually very happy to be here today because I came in from Ghana just 3 days ago. And when I was coming in from Ghana, I didn't know I'm going to be here. I never knew I'm going to be invited for a book launch. But however, I'm always very prepared because I know that I am somebody. I very much appreciate one of the key speakers here, Dr. Ngoya. I think if you have heard him very well, and you understand exactly and so what it means, that is why people like us are what we are today, because of and so what. If you know about me, I'm from Gwen, this is my village. I am married to an Apollonian family, and you people may not know. For many years, I'm working in international development for 21 years now. I want to tell you that I appreciate Mr. NSOM. I know him so well. I have come to the show several times. I've donated to show development and cultural association to make sure that they should uplift the hall, the community hall there in show to a certain level. But I want to tell you that I'm always so disappointed when I come there, I see the hall is still the same way how it is. Because, as Dr. Mbanyam said, there is a certain class that when you go and reach there, you don't think that you can go above that class. Except you make yourself to go above that class, then you will know. But however, I appreciate the fact that there's some facelift really coming out. I also appreciate the fact that it is sustainable development, which is my field. And also I'm happy that this book is talking about culture. And I think one of the speakers said here that if we have to go back to our culture, we may be going back to go and wear the washi. No, I differ with that. If you look at the world of today, you see that when the white men came over here, they came with their own ideas and actually thought that we were nothing. And then they destroyed our culture. And let me give you an example of it. You have a lot of shrines in the villages that your parents or our parents used to tell us that don't go into this forest and harvest any tree. If you dare go into this forest, the gods will be against you. That is what they call indigenous knowledge. That is what has caused what is happening today they call climate change. It's because people have overexploited the forest and all those things. And that indigenous knowledge is something now that they are putting a lot of money in international development that people should go, and even asking that you can go and buy the forest yourself to protect it. So I very much appreciate the fact that this book has been produced. And I think that you shouldn't just end here. I know you very well. You are somebody who is up and doing, and I will be very happy to see that you do more. I am the promoter of the Community Radio for Rural Development in Cuba. It's just a new radio station that I set up 3 months ago when I came over here in Cameroon. And there is a program on that radio that is meant for, we call it cultural heritage. Please, if you have time, go on the air and talk about your culture. We really need a lot of people to come and sensitize people on that. The radio is there, it's free. You go on the air and actually talk about it. We will very much appreciate it. It's FM 95.1 megahertz. I thank you so much. I think my own contribution to this book launch, I don't know what I can give, but I think I'm going to give him 50,000 francs to enable him support the work he's doing. I don't have all the money here, but actually he knows me that when I promise, I always meet up. I will put 10,000 and I give you 40,000 francs later.
Here, the person is not actually present, but I sent a representative with an envelope carrying the amount of 100,000. That is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Bamenda, Professor Teresa Nko Kenji. So, we will have to send her copies after this.
Good afternoon or good evening, gentlemen and ladies. I am representing Modern Francis, who was supposed to be here in person, but had to travel, and so asked me to come and deliver his message. His message is nothing other than money. So, he says, as somebody who is involved in work of development, he cannot hear
that somebody who is also involved in development has done something great and stay behind. And he supports this work of development with 50,000 francs. Let's say to deliver.
To the next representative of Alaji Bochong Bako. He is being represented here by alternate Senator Honorable Yi Christopher. I hope I pronounced the name correctly.
Very correctly.
You're welcome, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Haj Lawan Bako says he's a traditionalist, and he thanks Bobby Joseph's son to have put that in print. One of the things I would appreciate with the presenters is that they presented with confidence. They presented with confidence because the history is true. History is not tainted. And one of the things we should know, I will borrow from James Baldwin, is that we do not choose our families. We belong to them. And if we belong to them, it simply means we have to be what we are without being ashamed. Therefore, the history of Kom people is first and foremost that of Kom, and by extension, that of the world. No other person would have done it other than NSOM. Why? He said Joseph. Because when God had to choose who should father Jesus for the world, he looked for a Joseph. Now when you study the English language, I even listened to Nick Ngwanya, who came at the nick of time and presented what he presented, and Confidence, who presented in confidence. You will understand that the English language says, show us what you had. And only someone from show, short of W, could have done this and done it with a lot of experience and succinctly. Joe, congratulations. And Bobby, the very big title, I think is above Bobby. He is Bo Chong, one of the strongest Bo Chongs of Kom tradition. He says, I should. He gave me an envelope, but understanding exactly what envelopes do, I rather would not want to give an envelope, but I would rather present the 10,000 francs he gave so that you can buy more things. And to conclude, Ngwanya says, beyond and so what? What are you giving back to the people? You are above 25 years. You have given this to the people. That is your legacy. You do not expect any money from here. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And he does it with... Okay, we will go to the next personality. We'll call on Bobe Fulton Bernard. Sorry. Bobe Fulton Benedict.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
I would like to publicly here, in fact, congratulate Joe. So I've known him for a long time, since the time that I was in Yaoundé. Those of us who were in Yaoundé in the early 70s. So we saw how Joe went to university. We saw how Joe struggled in university. Sometimes he comes and takes lunch in the house. And we kept on encouraging him. And I'm proud to say that for somebody who they said was a technician, and finally studied statistics to become a writer, it's a wonderful feat. So I want really to congratulate him and to say it's an example for many of us to follow. As Professor Ngam Confidence said, the Bible says, the truth will set you free. And when I hear something about history, I think history is supposed to be nothing but the truth. Because we are living in a country now where, because of personal interest, because of personal ambition, people have tried to twist history. And that is where has put us where we are. So I want to say that somebody who is writing and saying he's writing history should be beyond all temptation. Don't twist the fact because you think that after that you shall get something in return. So I hope that is what Joe has done. And I have always encouraged him to do that. Don't feel biased by anything or submit yourself to pressure from any area to satisfy somebody and not represent what the truth is supposed to be. So that was the only warning I want to say, especially for those younger ones who are still coming up and also hope to go into writing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I would support the deal with the sum of 10,000.
Okay, thank you very much. We supported the sum of 10,000 francs. We'll call on Payne, Kingmaker, or his representative. Okay. Yeah, he's taking all his time.
I'd like to say a word.
Oh, all right.
It's my pleasure to be here. I just wish to congratulate the NSOM for the publication he has just made. And I want to appeal to other sons, at least, to come up with more publications and to see to it that whatever thing they publish should be the truth. It should be honest in everything they try to publish. And because following NSOM's publication, I think everybody who has read through the lines of his last publication must have seen that he has done a lot of research. And by this, I appreciate his work. And I'm appealing that more his sons and others should follow suit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bobe Joe, my old friend, whatsoever. I don't want to say much, but let me just say I'm very happy he's done this. I'm so very happy. I like culture. I'm part of culture. I like it so much, and we have so much on which we try to work together. I have already had the other book, and I would have just loved to have this other one, but unfortunately I don't have money. So whatever, I will just a significant, just a modicum, so that I don't go with an empty hand.
Yes,
exactly. And so that as we meet in Yaoundé in 2 or 3 days, I can just make up.
Yes.
So I and I was part of it from the onset. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll call on Bobe, our Peter. Call on Bobe, our Peter. Yeah, he's coming up. Oh, he wants to say something.
Okay, my friend, Kiaba. Eka abuna tani wokum sina. Ene fa abe we tani la. Eja na wo Peter, mati afa inta wo Peter. Fiti ta inta wala voltiza enchinje lama show. Why wa nya amale ye. Awan wo show. Wo ne be fa. We vele be optimate man Ultimate senator, and even everything you can for the show. Alang nama tahu Peter, masih kalau mana ya malu mungkin lihat, mentok yang kamu setai. Bila dah maklum ilmu isu, ilmu apa? Isu ada mau fight mentok je, na isu kan zingkala nakom. Anta ini tapi asal kuah bahasa Anggini kejam. Semua asal abis kau nama abis kau na liwai uyam tu. Maling maklum ini Show Village Development Association. Itu lama awak ini dah kau jangan. And I would like to say something in reaction to what he said. He mentioned the fact that he has been to show on several occasions to support show. Unfortunately, he has not seen certain things done to the show community hall. That is very true, and I'm glad for the concern. We took something else as priority. That was electricity. All of you know that show is in darkness. The only village along the Bambui Pudong Road in darkness. That's what we are looking to. And after that, everything will be done. We'll still come back to you people for support. I'm not here.
Thank you so much.
Well done.
You've passed through the book, and at least I will want to hear. I would like you to give me a word or two as far as the books are concerned, and like an in-law, what you will say about the Kom tradition.
Yeah, actually, the book is a very good piece. It's a masterpiece because normally I've been reading a lot of other books because of the Kom tradition and so on, and knowing fully well that I am also part of that kingdom. I went through the first important thing I wanted to rush through was to look about whether it concerns how is it like with the palace where my wife, the family comes from. So I looked through and I saw that it was just very okay. And you know, when you're writing a book, you should write something which is true. And I believe that what he's written is something that people should use it and use it perfectly well. People should not go and be, you know, there's a lot of crisis in Kom presently now that I know because of this aspect of, you know, leadership and who is going to be here or this is going to be there. So, but people should read this book and actually know exactly what the culture says, who is going to be here and who is going to be there. It's going to be very, very useful to everybody so that people cannot truncate history.
Yes, like somebody who is working internationally, it means you've traveled far and wide and you've passed through so many cultures, and I would like you to maybe say a word or two to those Kom sons and daughters who maybe have never been to Kom and don't know more about the Kom culture.
One aspect is that, you know, you need always to go back home. Those who don't go back to their village is actually lost people because you need to go and learn your culture, you know exactly how the people live. I work in rural development and I always like going to rural areas to discover a lot of things. And when I was working in Cameroon here, I have to go around most of the villages, and Kom is one of those villages. I've gone far and wide. These are those villages that even the sons and daughters of Kom may have not gone so far in Kom like myself. So I believe that they should go back home and, you know, and learn this indigenous knowledge. The indigenous knowledge is not just going back to go to the old traditional way of dressing, but it's actually going back to use the indigenous knowledge to be able, to develop, use it in order that you will be able to develop yourself, develop the communities and so on. It's not just going back to the old fashioned, but trying to see what can be changed, should be changed, and then you use it in order to develop yourself. So Kom children should go back to the village and learn from their forefathers, because your culture is your identity, your culture is you. And if you are saying I'm from Kom, I'm from Boyo division, you should be identifying yourself with that culture. So that book is something that I wish that those who have not read it should be able to buy it and read, and also go back to the village to learn from their forefathers. Or for those who are still living now, they shouldn't only be counted among the dead, they should be counted among the living now. So that is what I can advise them to do.
One word to the author.
Well, he's a good friend of mine. I love him so much. As I said in the hall, he's a developer, and I'm happy that he works in doing a lot on sustainable development. And I'm happy that he's also one of those key guys who have been, championing the Cultural and Development Association. I've been there several times, donated some amount of money for that community hall and for the community project there. I've also been initiating a lot of other projects for children in Kom. And I believe that this guy is somebody that people should use him very well, because if they use him very well, he's going to be a very good resourceful person for the archives of the village as far as the culture is concerned.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Yes, like the president of Kom Kuda Bamenda branch, I would like you to have to say a word or two, having witnessed the launching of the two books which concerns the Kom culture and traditions.
Yes, I've seen the launching of these two very rich publications by NSOM, Kom man. The launching was colorful and rich with traditional displays, and in fact, as a reflection, I think that's a reflection of the content of the books. We could just say that it's a great effort. He has put in a lot of sacrifice. He has sacrificed time. He has sacrificed his money. He has sacrificed his talent to be able to document the culture of his people, and to be able to write in a coherent manner the history of the Kom people. And to me, that is great. To us, the Kom people in Bamenda here, we are very grateful for that effort.
Yes, and the second launching took place here, and we understand that the Kom people here in Bamenda have been doing a lot as far as the Kom culture and the revamp of the Kom culture is concerned in the Kom land and maybe in the diaspora. One word to those Kom sons and daughters maybe who don't know more about their culture.
Well, there are many children we have here, our children, the younger generation, I'll call them, who do not yet know much about their own culture. We just want to think that as they are growing up, they will meet such publications, they will meet the documentations, and they could read them. Because recently, a lot of effort has been done by some of the people in Bamenda here towards the revamping of a culture that was almost getting, call it, forgotten, dying out, because many people have lost interest in the Kom culture. I will just seize this opportunity to, in fact, thank the champions of this revamping. I'm thinking about Bonjong, Matthew Njwa, who is also called Gakom. I'm thinking about Fome Nikongfum, who was here. These are people in Bamenda here who have worked day and night, who have worked tooth and nail, who have done everything within their energy to make the culture of Kom look admirable, look livable, look attractive, and I think that with this new spirit, the people we call the younger generation, our children, will come to have a lot of interest in it, and they will come to live the tradition, to live by the cultures, and they will keep them and they will preserve them.
Thank you. Finally, the launching here in Bamenda was a success. I would like to have your impressions after launching these publications here in Bamenda.
You have already said it was a success. All of us have said that it was a success, a very success. So,
my impression is good, and I'm saying that we should go forward. We must not end where we have had the success. The success means that you should go forward. When you pass to class 2, when they say you have passed, it means you have passed into another class. So now, as I've already said in my speech, I said that we shall organize a conference in which we shall encourage people to do more publications. If you remember, all those who were talking about more publications. And in order for those publications to take place, we need a forum to do that. So we shall create that conference, and that conference shall be there to capture all the articles, all the thinking that people have on that book. They will come to the conference and then expose the articles, we will debate, and some of those articles that will be okay, they will be accepted, we shall publish them in a journal that we shall give a name. The name may become journal, it can be a full-com journal, it can be any name that we shall give. And that will be that. It will become a periodic for the publication of com issues.
And one last message to the readers.
Yes, the reader, from all perspectives, should read and make sure that he gathers something that can make him contribute to the Kom Society. Now, most people, as you heard saying, history, culture, we should try to talk history, the true history. We should not twist things. So people should read carefully and keenly so as to actually understand the history and correct all what we have been distorting. That's what we can say to the reader. And also to say that those who are not present, they should know that this book is available. The book in Bamenda is available in Unity Garden in Kwen. In the premises of in the bar, is in a drinking place. Bobe, Timcha, Gregory. So if you pass there in Bamenda, you can have the 2 books that were launched today. If you are in Fundong, you are in Com, you can pass at Providence a bookshop and you get the 2 books.
Thank you. A historian and a son of Com, you've read the book, maybe you've contributed. I would like to have your impressions on this book launching today.
Well, I must confess that it's a landmark. The book launching culture is not yet part of the people of Bamenda or the people of Africa in general. But I think that Bobe has been able to make the book known. He has been able to bring people to get the substance of it. I feel that in any occasion like this one learns. But I can say that for those who will be buying the book after, the publicity for the document has been made known. Like I said in my presentation, he has made a dent with history and he has solved the praiseworthy problem of the society in its own time. So I doff my hat for him. And I pray that there were a few people here, but I know that they were better than some of the occasions I've witnessed. So I can only encourage him to stay strong and his team. He has a very strong team and he has so many people there, and I know that they will do something praiseworthy.
And what message do you have to give to maybe the Kom sons and daughters who are not very much versed with their culture?
Yes, I think that Bobe has been able to venture into an area where most people dread. He's been able to document the Kom culture. Most people think that it is not worth documented or it's not even worth knowing. And what the world knows about Kom culture most of the time is that about matrilineal succession, which is so awkward, which is so absurd. But Bobe has been able to put the cards bare on the table. And I think that he gives a true image, a vivid image of what the Kom culture is all about. And indeed, he's been able to say there is a relaxed society where you can choose who succeeds you, and you can be able to draw the line between patrilineal succession and matrilineal succession. I think that's something which the world needs to know, the dynamics of it.
And to the writer, to the author, What message to him?
To the author, I pray God to give him a long life. You know, when Senghor was 90 years old, during his 90th birthday, the son told him, "Daddy, you will still have many more years ahead of you to write literature." So I wished Daddy a very long life to continue to put his pen down and to write for posterity. That is why God called him into this world, I think. So I pray that he gives him many more days. And he has a very powerful team. I pray he trains the team to be able to continue in his own life, because there's a lot of courage to write, there's a lot of discipline to write, there's a lot of things put together.
Thank you. You saw the book launch, you passed through the book. I would like to have your impressions after reading this book and maybe attending the book launch.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to say something about the book launch, about the book, or the two books, because there were two books. One on the Kom culture, the Modern Kom culture, and another one, the history of the Kom people. Yeah, first of all, I want to thank Bobby, Joseph, so much, because so far, that is the first book I know, a real book, not a dissertation like other people have written issues about Kom culture, Kom tradition, about the Kom history. No, a real book that will, by all standards, they are good books. Now, coming back to assess the content and the value of the book. In fact, when you talk about culture, what are we really talking about? We're talking about how the people live, how they control themselves, how they manage themselves, how they go about their own life, how their society is stratified, their own politics, their own way of life, their uniqueness in this world as a people. So, when you assess the cultural background of that book and what Bobby has written inside, you see that he has done good research. He's done a lot of work, and I really think he needs a red feather. I was even surprised to see that he's sitting here without a red feather on the cap, which is one of the greatest decorations that our culture gives to somebody who has done something great. I think he deserves the title of Informi. Not only to be called NSOM, no. And for me, I think that's the biggest title that I know that is in the Kom family today. So he's done so much to write about the history of the people, to write about the culture of a people. Is not a easy job, because you have to evaluate a lot of things. You have to do a lot of research. You have to move up and down. Go east, west, up, down, north, south. So I'm so happy he's done the work, and you will see how the launching was. You yourself are a big testimony that it was a good launch.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Master Robusta on the beat.
Funa reset fula kalise boilunga. Wafa pila fu wanata na waifu kisa uliwo kisa uchamchango. Funa reset fula kalise boilunga. Physically I wanna see your face. Everybody wanna see your face. Come and dad yell no can see you. Whoa, for physically I wanna see your face. Everybody wanna see your face. Come and dad yell no can see you. Whoa, for for Billy, for one, I done away for chong chong funa resak fala kalis builunga
Master Robusta on the beat.